Tim Petrovich of the Daily Republican here with Marion head football coach Kerry Martin. We head into this week 3 of the 2010 high school football season, and first let's talk about last week's game, 27-14 win over Highland. Nice strong second half, down 14-13 at halftime, but you made some adjustments at halftime and played a really solid second half.
Yeah, it was a really good character check for our team, to be down like that, to be down a point at halftime, and we haven't been in that situation yet. We watched the kids battle back and improve their second half performance over their first half performance, but the defense played great in the second half. Offensive line did a great job of giving us a surge there up front, and our running backs did a great job of running hard, breaking some tackles, and we took really good care of the football with no turnovers.
We talked after the game about the games that Shaquille Ivy and Torrin Stanley had. Shaq with 234 yards rushing, Torrin 139 and 3 touchdowns. But one stat that I didn't figure until I got done, 422 yards rushing as a team on 42 carries. As a team, you average 10 yards a carry rushing the ball.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, I didn't know that either until I got the stats later on, and I had no idea our yards per carry were that high. But again, we have talented running backs. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I also think a lot of credit goes to the front line, the 2 tight ends that played up there, Colin Solner and Aaron Adeoye, and those guys. Anytime you rush to that many yards and have that kind of average, you've got to have something going on in front, and they did a tremendous job in the second half. And my quarterback did a great job. Both my quarterbacks did a great job of taking care of the ball and dishing it off and carrying their fakes out. So, a lot of good things go into that, but we preach got to be 11. We've got to be 11 players playing well on every snap, and we got that a lot in the second half.
Second half defensively, really clamped down on Michael Beanie. I think he had 15 yards rushing in the second half. As a team, Highland had 10 yards rushing in the second half. So you really shut down that running game, which is what they rely on heavily.
Well, he's a great football player. We knew he was good coming in. He had a great junior year, and of course he was off to a good start against Belleville West the week before. And he had a good first half against us. He was a very shifty runner, a very hard-nosed kid, and he could catch it, he could run it, he could do a lot of things out of the Wildcat formation. And so they were really going to hang their hopes on this kid, and I don't blame him. He's a good football player, but our defense did a great job of keying him and tackling well in the second half. I think we just tackled much better, and we got off blocks better in the second half.
Don't necessarily like to backtrack, but I do want to mention, we talked again about Shaq and Torrin, but some other kids who really stepped up in the running game. In particular, Alex Long had a couple of key big runs, and Henry Jones, I thought, really looked good in one series he played.
He did. Henry had a really good night for us. Just a sophomore running back, and we really think he's going to be an awfully good football player for us. I think he already is. And he came in and had 3 key runs for us, 2 inside runs, 1 outside run, and it didn't surprise us. We think Henry's got a good future in our program, and he stepped right in, right in the thick of a very tough ball game, and really contributed.
Matt Lewis played a little bit.
He did.
Got 2 series in, I think. Did you like what you saw?
I did. I thought he played well. He threw a couple of nice balls, but didn't catch them. It seemed like when we're throwing the ball, when we dropped it, we didn't throw the ball well. We ran better routes. It's just had a tough time in the first half getting in sync, and our third down conversion percentage was really low last week. We've got to get better at that. But I thought he stepped in, did a nice job, and it's good to see him get out there and get some experience along with Brett at quarterback, and I think they're both going to do a nice job for us.
You went right back to Brett to start the second half. That was by design, obviously.
I'm comfortable with either one of them in there. I think they're both very similar players. I think I don't think either one is that much better than the other. I like to see them both get some experience in there. We've got both for the next couple of years, and I just think they both bring something to the table unique, and Brett does some things very well, Matt does some things very well, and I think right now there isn't a whole lot that differentiates one from the other, so I intend on using them both and getting them both time, and I think it's just going to make us better.
Friday night's Harrisburg, and after week 1 you think, boy, Harrisburg's really maybe going to have a tough time this year. Really got handled pretty well by Mount Carmel, 40 points in the first half. Came back and knocked off a pretty decent DuQuoin team last week, and so that had to be a definite confidence boost for them.
Anytime somebody beats DuQuoin, it catches my attention. So Coach Roper is a fine young football coach and just does a great job over there. And we're not going to let anybody sneak up on us. We know a couple of years ago we played them, we were behind 19-0 at halftime, and I reminded the kids of that at practice all week long. And we know that if we don't come out to play, it's going to be a battle. We know we have to be at our best against these guys every single year. The game is pretty tight. and we've had some real nail biters. So we have a lot of respect for him. We have a lot of respect for Coach Rover, and I realize that we've got to bring our A game on Friday if we want to come out here 3-0.
Couple of familiar names in their backfield. Isaac Beam, John David Rollins, they both played last year for them. People you're familiar with.
Yeah, I was impressed with both of those players last year. And the only downside was I knew last year they were coming back again. They both bring a lot to the table. They're both a threat to score at any time. They've got some big, strong linemen up front on both sides of the ball. Harrisburg is always a tough, hard-nosed group of kids. And so, as I said, their offense they bring to the table is much like our change of pace. They can control the clock for long periods of time, and we're going to have to use every series that we've got and maximize the use out of them. So, yeah, we've got to watch those two young running backs. They've also got some other kids they can get the ball to. So, tough offense to defend because they bring so many different threats.
They maybe don't throw as much as they have in the past since Reed Roper graduated. At the same time, the more and more you run that straight T offense, the better you get at it, the more it becomes a weapon. It
does, and then of course, as mentioning that, the play action pass can be big because when they do throw the ball, it can be for big yardage because you get sucked into trying to play that run so much and fall asleep and the tight end slips out behind you and a big play can come. So they can also sneak John David out of the backfield, which is something we've got to be aware of. That can happen at any time, and if he catches it, he can score. So we're going to have to be very disciplined to read our keys and focus on who we're assigned to, and you got to do that the whole game. You can't let you can't lose focus.
After 2 weeks, what's your biggest concern about your football team?
My biggest concern is just we've got to keep improving. We cannot stay the same. We had a pretty good first ball game. We had a pretty good second ball game. I don't think this team is near its potential. But it's the level of improvement each week that we make is my big concern. We just can't take little steps. We need to take some big steps if we want to achieve our goals in postseason play and being a team that's threatening late in the year, the playoffs. And I just feel like we've got to be improving in big steps and big strides. We have to practice better as a team. I don't think sometimes we practice as well as we could. I think some of the players on our team are not playing up to their potential, and I'm reminding them that I don't think some of our kids realize just how good they can be. So my focus is less on who we're playing, but how we're playing, and just trying to get our guys to be the very best football players they can be. And I think we need to take another big step this week if we want to get into our conference schedule and be competitive.
Herbert, McMillan, Marcus Green, both out last week. What's their status for this week?
They're both better. That's all I can say. I wouldn't say they're out. I would say they're both better. We do not want to rush them back in and suffer a setback that's another 2 or 3 weeks. I would rather wait another week if I have to and get them back full strength. So as of right now, we just don't know. I would say right now, if I had to lean one way or the other, probably neither one of them is going to play. Herbert has a better chance than Marcus, so we'll see what happens.
First of a 3-game homestand. This is a time you really need to take advantage.
Yeah, we absolutely have to take advantage of this 3-game homestand, and play well here and take advantage of this because the last half of the schedule we're on the road a lot. Fortunately, not a lot of long road trips, and we are a good road team, but we want to take advantage of these 3 home games, be comfortable here, let the crowd motivate us, block out the distractions that sometimes the road can bring, and just use these 3 weeks to get better and to try to keep winning ball games.
Harrisburg Bulldogs in here Friday night. Look forward to seeing you then.
Appreciate it. Look forward to playing them.
Marion head football coach Kerry Martin for the Daily Republic, and I'm Tim Petrovich.